of the deputy governor of Cross River State was one choice that was acceptable to all, because we found in him a young man with so much energy, a young man who is a sitting majority leader of the House of Assembly, a young man who is from Ogoja, the mother local government of the northern part of Cross River State. It was a clear balance where we needed again to do that which we did in 2003 when the then governor of Cross River State, His Excellency Mr. Donald Duke, decided to go to the northern part of Cross River State to elect or to nominate the late Walter Eneji, may so rest in peace, as his deputy governor. After his decision in 1999 coming with the late John Okpa, may so rest in peace, failed. In his second term, he decided to go up north. This time around, we decided, given similar situation, not to do an experiment that failed first. We decided to go to the one that worked by starting with a south-northern arrangement. That choice is a perfect choice. In fact, to the entire people of Ogoja, they feel happy because Ogoja will not be left empty.
All right, let's talk about Sam Bassey. That's another an APC chieftain in your state who openly declared support for the governorship candidate of the PDP, Sunday Onoh. How are you coping with the damage it can cause for the party?
If you permit me, there are issues that are not too relevant, that if you give some credence to, people might misunderstand us. Just take it that that is no issue at all. Please. It doesn't give us even one kobo sleepless night. Nothing to bother about at all. In Cross River State, and that is not to underrate the person of my very good friend, my senior brother that I have high regards for. He actually told me several that he needed attention that he did not get. But I do not think that amounts to anything that should give us any sleepless night. Please, I will appeal with the greatest respect that we don't give any credence to that. We are not perturbed at all. It's from Biase. I will show you the Biase result, even from his word, on that day before 4 p.m. You will see that we would have won. It's a promise I make to you.
All right. But the PDP governorship candidate, Sunday Onoh, said the poor performance of the APC administration in the state has made the campaign easier for his party. Aren't you worried about that?
Perhaps, anyway, I didn't hear from him, but if he said so and it is true, then he doesn't know the meaning of what they call poor performance. Because you cannot tell me that a governor who was handed over 403 billion naira debt in a government which he, Senator Sunday Onoh, was part of, and that governor has done the biblical magic of Moses by using his staff to strike the rock for water to come out. And today, almost every local government is littered with factories from just nothing. Cross River State sits at number 35 out of number 36 in the fact allocation table. Yet, the same governor came in, took infrastructural development, including human capital development, the type that we have never heard in the history or seen in Cross River State. And I speak to the fact that 7,000 plus for 7 years now have been on the state payroll, with the list earning over 120,000, commissioners earning over ₦1 million. Still, over 20-something thousand persons on the salary of over 30,000 at the local government level. And only recently, 49,200 and something persons benefiting 10,000 from each of the polling units in Cross River State. And you call that poor performance? With a dualized road cutting across the 5 local governments in the north, 148 kilometers, the most gigantic project that has been undertaken by any governor, dead or alive, in the history of Nigeria on one swap. You call that poor performance? A vitaminized rice meal, which we are eating today in Ogoja. This Christmas, you see Ogoja rice everywhere. That is what Governor Ayade has done. You call that poor performance? A cocoa processing mill of 30,000 metric tons, sitting in Ikom, already doing chocolate. You call that poor performance? a vegetable oil factory sitting in Gakim that people will use this Christmas. You call that poor performance? A Kalachika factory of chicken processing in Calabar, a feed mill factory in Calabar, the pile and pylon factory in Akampa. You call that poor performance? Then Sandy Ono does not know the meaning of what they call poor performance. And if you have been given a degree, and like I said, if you said so, and has been given the degree, I'll call on the institution to withdraw his degree for being a non-entity.
All right, for a minute, let's leave Sandy Ono now. Retired Cross River civil servants have been very vocal about failure of the state government to pay them. What impact do you think this will have on the electoral fortune of the party?
But you said what? I didn't hear you very well.
Retired Cross Rivers civil servants have been very vocal about failure of the state government to pay them.
I think you must get it right. Do not follow what they say on social media. Get what I am telling you and you can verify and get back to me.
So,
Cross River State pension and salaries have been paid up to date. Today is 22nd day of December. Call and confirm from civil servants in Cross River State. They were paid November and December salary. Everybody have gotten a lot. Even
when did they get the alerts?
It has been running throughout since 1 week. Even as I speak to you today, I know that December salary has been paid. And if you confirm and they tell you it has not been paid, put on your scroll bar and call me a liar.
All right, we will confirm that. But then,
so don't follow what people say on social media.
You know why I asked this? Because the River State Head of Service, Timothy Akwaji, said the state government is working to clear all of these outstanding pension payments amounting to about 18 billion. So I needed you to confirm that. But now that you've said they have been paid, we will confirm.
What he may have told you is not pension. Perhaps it is gratuity. And permit me to take a little on that. Before Governor Yade came on board, the state was owing over 7 years gratuity. Governor Ade tried his best to clear almost up to about 6 years. As at the last count, it was in 2014. But most of the debts, the loan the former government collected, Donald Duke and Lee Elimoke combined, all crystallized because when Governor Ade came in, most of those debts now crystallized. And the possibility of carrying pension and gratuity together became a difficult task. Labor went severally on strike, but they understood when the governor sat down with them and showed them his balance sheet. They had understanding. And from time to time, what the government has been doing is to be releasing between 200 to 300 million to comply with the MOU. I was part of that MOU, so I speak as an authority to that. And that is what has been taking place. It is not possible for an accumulated debt running over 17 billion to be assuaged or obliterated with 200, 300 million that comes from time to time. That, if you say, I can tell you that that is true. But for pension, for salary, I reiterate again, I maintain again with absolute assurance that we are not owing.
All right, while we confirm that, let's quickly talk about the chances of the APC in the South-South. How will you describe it?
You see, I want the whole world to celebrate the man called Senator Professor Ben Ayade. If you recall, sometime last year, the resurgence of insurgency in the Southwest, in the Southeast, was almost percolating into the South-South. But it took the determination of one man to change the narrative. When he changed the whole history by changing the discussion from that insurgency to the political movement of a sitting PDP governor in a traditional PDP state to the APC. Therefore, the ethnic vibration that was coming to the body politic changed its melodious sound from a war song into a blues of political romance between the South-South and the North. That followed with the passage of the cohabitation and congenial and convivial interactive deal with herdsmen and farmers in Cross River State. And if you recall, that was the first time we got an impetus that changed the narrative of the farmers' headers clash in this country. What that did brought a total coloration to the political temperature and the climate. And so in Cross River State, we stand as a living example of the permutation and the permeation of APC into the South-South. Do not forget, APC was in Edo State until Obaseki ran with that mandate. APC won election in Bayelsa State, but not for the discrepancy in the certificate of the deputy governor, which now affected David Lyon. So they say that APC is not strong in the South-South is a big lie. As I speak to you, APC is sure to win in Rivers State. APC will make serious inroads into Akwa Ibom once they resolve their differences. And Cross River State, take it to the bank, is a concluded forgone. We will win. We will not only win, we will win woto.
All right, Mr. Alphonsus, we will definitely continue this conversation, but let's take a very quick break and we'll come back.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
In the month of December, on the 1st, it is World AIDS Day. On the 3rd, attention shifts to persons living with disabilities. And December 9th is dedicated to International Anti-Corruption Day. 10th is Human Rights Day, while the 11th is the 2nd anniversary of the abduction of over 300 students in Kankara, Katsina State. On the 12th of December, the World Health Organization dedicates the day as Universal Health Coverage Day. On the 17th of December, the abducted Kankara boys were freed 6 days after. 18th of December is set aside as International Migrants Day. It is the last month of the year. Brace yourself for an interesting December. Stay with TVC News.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us again. I still have the APC chairman in Cross River State, Mr. Alphonsus Eba. All right, let's go ahead with our discussion. You say PDP is forgone and that your party will win woto. But then, how do you intend to dislodge the PDP?
To say that PDP still exists in Cross River State is to allude to what I call a phantasmagoria. They exist in the past. They do not exist in the present. And they will never be in the future. And I said this by letting you know that we went for a by-election. In that by-election in Ogojayala, we won. In Akpabio State constituency, the court clearly stated that we had 1,700 and something votes which were not counted, and at the 500 margin, which they declared them ahead of us, if counted, would have amounted to APC's victory. But not to bother yourself, February 25th is not far from now. March 11th is not far from now. I'm a very patient human being. Call me on the 26th. In fact, I will be your first guest on the 26th after the 25th election. And I will tell you that I told you this on the 22nd day of December. I am not a clairvoyant. I am not a Nostradamus. But we have overworked, we have overprepared. Do you know what they call those people? Jigeripokeras. They don't exist in Cross River State. There is a zoning arrangement in Cross River State. that we have been used to. Power started from the southern part of the state under His Excellency Governor Donald Duke. It went to the central by H.E. Lee Elimoke. Now in the northern part of the state by H.E. SSCON. It is only just, fair, and equitable for that power to return to the southern part of Cross River State. The PDP wanted to put an ethnic jingoistic battle that would have led to the annihilation and conflagration of Cross River State. But the APC, thanks to the leadership of Governor Ben Ayade, he gave a direction. He gave a direction that we must follow the path to south. And today, we do not just have a candidate, we have a political candelabrum in person of Senator Prince Bassey Edetutu, a man who was in the House of Reps. He distinguished himself. He gave exemplary and provided exceptional leadership. He bought 400 vehicles and shared in a single day. He bought over 100 plots of land, gave 500,000 to each beneficiary, paid CFO for them to build houses. That is the material we have for governorship. And everybody in Cross River State is saying, Papa Oyoyo. That is what I am talking about. It's not some comedians that are Port Harcourt neighborhood rascals coming to change the equation. Cross River States have rejected them.
All right.
We use the ballot to send them to their political Golgotha.
Mr. Fossors, you know, the opposition still boasts of very powerful politicians, the likes of Donald Duke, Jarigbe, and others. Are you saying that you indirectly calling all of these people irrelevant?
Donald Duke is a man I respect, but with the greatest respect, the second name you mentioned, please do not give any credence to him. Because if you remind me going back, I will tell you that that is one criminal occupant in the National Assembly that has almost desecrated the red chambers. And you can go back and find out what the Supreme Court did only last month. The Supreme Court has overruled itself. That judgment that kept that man there. It's just that our legal jurisprudence cannot be taken aback. If not today, by pronouncement, that man would have ceased to be there. He sits on a stolen mandate. And even though it's a small fry, we are using a sledgehammer to knock him, to push him out of that place by 25th of February. And I say this with authority. Okay. Let's not give credence to him. For Donald Duke, I respect him. But Donald Duke, I tell you, he will listen to the voice of reason. The people of the Southern Senatorial District have all taken a decision. And I can tell you, frankly, Governor Donald Duke will listen to the voice of reason. He's a very respected statesman. Governor Lee Elimoke is a respected statesman. He knows and is an architect of zoning. When the time comes, the issue will be about zoning. And both, in particular, Lee Elimoke, with the greatest respect, cannot go against his principle because he's a man of integrity. For Donald Duke, I tell you, he will listen to the voice of his people.
But then what gives you so much assurance? What gives you this confidence?
We are on ground. We are everywhere. If you can just ask people that came for the town hall meeting, we were driving through the streets of Calabar. We did not arrange the vehicles that were hailing at Siwaju. In fact, my incoming president made me so happy that day. He had to open the glass of his bus and was waving everybody in Calabar. That cannot be arranged. PDP people were driving. Labour Party were driving. But everybody knows that the spirit has told them that that is the next president of Nigeria. And the next day, the man I respect so much, and I bless him for coming into the race, His Excellency Governor Peter Obi, who is running the Labour Party, came into town. And it was like a graveyard. He saw it, and he returned back. But he knows that Cross River State is totally APC. But I have too much assurance. Don't even disturb yourself.
The PDP has never failed to win the presidential and governorship elections in your state. Are you not afraid that history might repeat itself?
I just told you that Cross River State used to be a traditional PDP state. But there was an armless political revolution that happened on the 20th day of May last year. And since then, they have been decimated, they have been annihilated, and they have been lobotomized.
Okay, then, even with the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi gaining more popularity in the southeast and the south-south?
No, he's not gaining any popularity in Cross River State. He might be gaining in the southeast, he might be gaining another part of south-south, but not in Cross River State. But we like his incursion into the race, because what is helping us now is that those that used to be in the, PDP in Cross River State is divided into the Port Harcourt boys and those Atiku's boys. So the Port Harcourt boys, I think they're about 33 point something percent. The Atiku's boys are about 40-something percent. There are the onlookers that have found their way into the Labour Party. And there are people now that have seen the handwriting very clear on the wall, that have all been moving in drone. As I speak with you, I'll be on my way to Yakor a day after tomorrow to welcome into the party the strongest political kingpin of the PDP, who truly was the choice for the Senate of PDP in Central Senatorial District, but was denied the ticket. Honorable Obol Godwin Etta. He will be joining the APC on Saturday, and I'll be there to receive him. Yakor is an ancient city that controls more than 80% votes. I mean, more than 30 to 40% votes that comes out of the Central Senatorial District. So you can see what we'll be harvesting on Saturday.
All right.
So they'll be coming in droves. That is what I tell you, and these are the things that give me assurance. There is no rightly guided thinking Conservaria that will go against the zoning principle that has kept us in amity, that has kept us in congenial political tolerance. And so for the avoidance of higgledy-piggledy and hocus-pocus, we have moved on to say we must do the right thing. And that right thing is that the southern senatorial part of Cross River State, it is their turn. They call it Emilopon. We call it in Efik language. If you're not an Efik person, ask. It is the turn of the South.
All right. Let me have you, assess Peter Obi's chances vis-a-vis your candidates.
Peter Obi is one man that sometimes, even if we have money, we support his people, because for everything he's doing, is reducing the votes that PDP would have gotten in any part. Don't forget, when you talk about Peter Obi making a wave in the Southeast, it's something we celebrate about, because APC has never had a very strong root in the Southeast until the likes of Hope Uzodinma and Dave Umahi, their excellencies, came on board. What we look up to there is to make sure that we can win those two states. In Enugu, in Abia, in Anambra, we all looked up to getting over 25%. That is what we are looking at from there. But in the South-South region, we are sure that apart from Akwa Ibom, because Delta is almost gone into our hands, Governor Kowa will lose Delta before 4 p.m. on that day. We are going to win nothing less than about 4 or 5 states in the South-South. And the remaining votes are the votes that Peter Obi is going to take from the PDP. So it gives us so much joy.
All right. The presidential candidate of your party, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, was well received in Cross River State, where he fielded questions during a town hall meeting. How would you assess that particular outing?
In fact, let me tell you what my people told me. That they did not know that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is this super intelligent, is this super energetic, is it friendly, lovely, an exceptional leader, particularly when he displayed that reconciliation effort and brought everybody to the table. And the sound way he answered questions. In fact, when they asked him how he was going to provide employment, he told them straight, electricity is the problem of this country. We will start with electricity so that the SMEs can be rejigged. And he keyed into what Governor Eden is doing in Cross River State. Don't forget, the theme for that town hall meeting was agro-industrialization. And so today, for a governor that just received a national award by Mr. President for SMEs and agro-industrialization and youth employment, you should know that Governor Ade is a celebrated leader. And that is what the incoming president came to Cross River State to identify with. His outing was one in town. It was fantastic. It was excellent. In fact, it was one of the best things that happened to us in Cross River State. And we are happy. We cannot wait to see him again on the 30th of January, where I will tell you, please beam us live. Let the whole world watch, so that it will save me the energy of coming to do this interview that a lot of people will not be clinging to. 30th January, keep a date with us. Even if we don't have money to pay for live coverage, please support us so that the world will see what Cross River State is made of. The last one was like the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. This one again will be like the crowning of the Jesus King. Asiwaju is the next president. Nothing can change it by the special grace of God. He's ordained, he's prepared, and he showed that capacity when he came. And we are so proud of him.
Okay, for the sake of emphasis, why do you see him, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, as better than the likes of Kwankwaso, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and others in the race for the presidency?
The best way to assess a man is through track record. Go and check the track record of everybody that is talking about taking us. And then match it with the performance of our president incoming. Kwankwaso is a man I love and I respect. He tried his best in Kano, but that is not compared to what Asiwaju did in Lagos. For Atiku, it does not come within the line of those I should compare because he has never been a chief executive. He was only a spare tire to Obasanjo, and all he can be remembered for is the level of traitorship and the level of administrative abuse of office, disloyalty, perfidy, treachery, jiggery-pokery, and political miyankoko, of which I do not consider worthy to lead a country like Nigeria in the 22nd century. For Peter Obi, I love and respect him. He's a good man, but I do not think this is his time. His time will surely come, but he's a good man.
But then, you know, Peter Obi enjoys a lot of support from Nigerian youths. Is your party not worried about that?
No, he's enjoying sympathy, not support. Sympathy doesn't have a place in political calculation.
When you say sympathy, okay.
Sympathy, when people sympathize, there is what we call in grammar lachrymos, melancholy. That is not support. When you are sympathizing with somebody in a burial ground, you cry. That is sympathy. When you are supporting somebody, you come out with energy to give political support. I've been around in the system. I know the difference between sympathy and support. What Peter Obi is enjoying is sympathy. And that sympathy would have found a better place if he had calculated earlier than now and aligned properly. He came too late. But like I said, his time will come. Age is still on his side. We'll prepare him for the future. He's a good man.
All right. Now tell Nigerians how your party's presidential candidate intends to end insecurity if elected president of Nigeria next year.
We have made the point very clear that we have tried the traditional method of fighting insurgency. Fighting insurgency has gone scientific. But again, we must go to the basic question of unemployment. A man who has remained a maker of men, a man who has shown that when he became governor of Lagos State, a one-time den of armed robbers. I recall having uncles in Lagos before 1999. There was daily, hourly robbery in Lagos. But do not forget, when Tinubu came on board in 1999, you remember the Rapid Response Squad? You saw the magic they did. He will bring the replication of that. to the federal level. He will do all sorts that will end insurgency in this country. For me to discuss a strategy on that, I will need another full hour or day to sit with you and tell you the strategy. But I can assure you, be rest assured that insurgency will end under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
No, Mr. Alphonsus, you can give us a bit of that strategy. Please give us a bit of that strategy.
I have just told you that what he did in Lagos in 1999, all you need is to go and get that compendium. Because for me to tell you that it is going to be presenting a full booklet on that. But that strategy under the Rapid Response Board that gave that result is still with him. The manual is with him. He will use that and replicate in the country. Because whatever you see is armed carriage, and we'll be able to decimate that.
All right. The economy will certainly be, a factor in this election. But PDP leaders are convinced that your candidate, Atiku Abubakar, will manage the economy better. They also argue that as vice president, he ran the economy creditably. I want you to respond to that.
Nobody should predict what happened under the PDP era. The little changes we saw, nobody should attribute that to Atiku Abubakar. He was only a spectator, like I've said. President Olusegun Obasanjo came on board in 1999 and enjoyed global support. A country that was almost at the brink of dissolution. The international community came together to give us support. They were able to give us debt relief. They were able to open the opportunities for us. But we couldn't go back to the state of the economy that was before 1999. But it did not go so bad. The global GSM network opened the doors for employment opportunities in this country. Obasanjo came with a political will to have changed this country. However, the light of Atiku Abubakar, whom he handed over the economy to, into their hands, was actually the one that almost destroyed every part of this country. The privatization and commercialization proceeds. You recall how the issue of power has remained comatose up till this moment, with over $16 billion. Calculate what $16 billion today is, and you know the damage and Atiku Abubakar has done to this country. Is that the man we want to bring back to this country? The answer is no. For us, a man who was governor of Lagos State, who met an IGR at about 600 million and was able to take it to about 60 billion today, should rather be trusted, because the problem of Nigeria today is issue of revenue. And any man that can open the tap for revenue to flow like the water that comes from Kaiji Dam should rather be trusted. And only one man, by my definition, by my assumption, by the presumption of Nigeria, which is completely rebuttable, stands out, and that is the incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right. Before we go, please tell us the strategy your party intends to embark on to win the governorship election in Cross River State and also the presidential election.
If you have been following why people call me the political evangelist, I came prepared. On the 16th day of October, when I took over the reign of leadership in the APC, I declared that we're going to embark on political evangelism. And our political evangelism was going to be anchored on the mantra of what I call plug: peace, love, unity, and growth of the party. From that day, I took the APC from a paltry registered number of about 300,000 persons to over 1 million as it stands today. And that is what we do. We have evangelized and created the Polling Unit Management Committee, where we have 15 persons deriving resources from government, strengthening the structure in the entire 3,281 polling units. We have appointees in almost every polling unit that move from door to door, talking to our people, telling them the achievement of Governor Yade, despite the dead body that was handed over by the PDP government. We keep on telling them what Cross River State would have been if not for a man like Governor Yade, and why everybody must follow him So for us, Governor Yade is the commander-in-chief of the armless political revolutionary order that came on board on May 20th, 2021. And whatever he says is what we do. And all of us are his field commanders. And we are in the entire 3,281 polling units. And it is top to bottom. We call it 5/5. It is Asiwaju Kashim. It is our senatorial candidate. It's all our House of Reps. It's all our House of Assembly. It's our governorship and deputy governorship.
Mr. Alphonsus, you call yourself, you say you're a political evangelist. How then are the people of Cross River State following this evangelism?
If you Google and ask, I have commissioned almost everybody to become an evangelist. If you go to the Old Testament, you remember the movement and the evangelical mission of the 70 elders. In the New Testament, the 72 elders. That commissioning is what I have replicated in Cross River State. It is biblical. It is holy. It is politically a conscious movement that goes with the fear of God. And what we preach is peace, is love, is unity, and that's why everybody has embraced it. And that is one of the selling points our incoming president came to do day before yesterday that has remained the talking point in Cross River State. Everybody has embraced it. That is why APC today is a household name.
All right, Mr. Alphonsus, we do hope that all of this confidence translates to victory for your party in your state and the general election. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight. I've been speaking with the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Cross River State, Alphonsus Eba. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right. And that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight, but the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at Stevenson News NG and at Olajumoke OO using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/Stevenson News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and tomorrow for another edition of Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Goodbye.
The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism confers on Stella Dane Jacob, Director of News at TVC News, a lifetime award for journalistic excellence for a lifelong contribution to journalism and good governance in Nigeria.
I'm dedicating this award to my 8-month-old daughter, Matea Josephine, and the next generation of broadcasters, so that they will take off from where I have left and to understand that you're only as good as your last performance.
The 17th edition of the Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting was held on Friday, the 9th of December, 2022. Stella Dane Jacob is a seasoned journalist, news manager, and lawyer with a career spanning nearly 3 decades. Like a mantra, failure is not an option. Impossible does not exist. She remains focused and undeterred in nurturing talent and preserving globally accepted standards across newsrooms. Her contribution to broadcasting has produced winners and the Station of the Year awards for some news channels where she worked, including TVC.
So, all in favor say aye. Those against me, the ayes have it.
What do you know about the legislature, its role in governance, and as one of the 3 arms of government? Lagos Parliament is here to bring it to you as it is. Here to bring you every detail you need to know about the legislature in Africa's most populous city. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Agbebi. Join me every Friday at 9 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the legislature.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
It's not your regular show. It's an online interactive session where I will share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. I am Babajide Kolaji Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show, Issues with Jide.
The Shared Prosperity Weekly TV series on TVC News. It is through this telecast the viewers get to know what is happening in the prosperity government of His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma, the Executive Governor of Imo State. Through this program, all questions agitating the minds of citizens and residents of Imo State are answered in details with documentary evidence. Don't miss it. Keep a date with us every Sunday on TVC News by 9 p.m.
Join me, Precious Amayo, as I bring you news from the epicenter, where it happens and when it happens, staying on top of every breaking story, minute by minute, right at the hour when the city gets busy and just before it sleeps. We're live from every angle with objective insight and analysis. TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.